if you don't know me, my name is Audra Lennon, and I'm a real estate agent with All Service Realty in Jane Lee, West Virginia. Today, I just wanted to talk to you about some policy changes that have taken effect recently that have come about from a lawsuit settlement from the National Association of Realtors. And I just want to talk about how they affect us as real estate agents, but more importantly, how they affect you as a home buyer or a home seller. So essentially what these policies have created is more transparency when it comes to commission, both for listing agents and for buyer's agents. In the past, as a home seller, you would negotiate a commission with your list agent and you knew what was coming out of your proceeds at the sale, but you didn't know exactly how that was being split. Now you discuss all of that up front whenever you fill out your listing agreement. So you discuss that commission rate, the total commission that will come out, but you also talk about how it will be split, or if you even want to pay a buyer's agent commission. You're not obligated to, and you can say, no, I just want to list my home for, let's say 3%, for example, and that will go to my list agent, and a buyer will be responsible for paying their own agent. You might decide that you will pay a buyer's agent commission, but you're not going to split it 50-50. Maybe you want to do a 5% commission and pay your agent 3%, but offer 2% commission to the buyer's agent. It's totally up to you where you want that money to go. I will say that as real estate agents, we are still encouraging our sellers to offer buyer agent compensation, because a lot of times for buyers, cash is a limiting factor when they go to purchase a property. So they have their down payment and their closing costs and all of these things that makes up their cash to close, and if they have to add a buyer agent's commission on top of that, it may prevent them from buying the home, which takes your home as a seller off of their list of even possibilities, and you don't want that. So we are still encouraging sellers to offer compensation, but the decision is yours to make, and it's the decision of how much is yours to make. Again, it creates transparency and it gives the seller a little more power when it comes to making that decision. The policy changes that have most affected buyers is that now, for a buyer's agent to show a buyer a home, they have to sign a buyer agency relationship form. In the past, a buyer could just hop around from agent to agent with no real understanding of what the relationship was, but now you will discuss this with your agent up front and put it in writing so everyone understands what type of relationship this is. So a couple of things that you will discuss on this form is, one, how long do you want your buyer agent to work for you? During this time, they will be responsible for sending you listings and taking you on showings and trying to help you find the home that you're looking for. And that might be just a one-time showing. It may be just for this one house that you want to look at. That agent was available, you got in contact with them, and maybe you don't want it to go any further than that. But you might decide that you want this agent to work for you for a week or a month or 3 months or however long you and your agent discuss. This will now be part of the agreement, so everyone is on the same page. During this period of time, you are not allowed to work with another agent. You're going to have this agent working for you exclusively, and you cannot go on showings with other people. You will also discuss on this buyer agent form what the buyer agent's compensation will be. And this is a major change from how things have been done in the past. So traditionally, it was understood that the seller would be compensating the buyer's agent at closing. Now, like I just discussed with the sellers, they're not obligated to, and you don't know how much they are willing to until you negotiate an offer with them. So this buyer agency relationship form and discussing the buyer agent's compensation allows your agent to know how much they are going to make by working for you. And so for example, let's say that the commission rate that you guys come to an agreement on is 2.5%. And whenever you find a home that you like, you make an offer, you're going to ask that seller to pay that 2.5% buyer agent compensation. If the seller says, yeah, I'll pay 2.5% buyer agent commission, then that's great. There's no added cost to the buyer, and the buyer's agent is taken care of. But if the seller says, I will pay your buyer agent, but I'm only willing to offer 2% commission, then that other half a percentage will be the buyer's responsibility to pay at closing. Or if the seller comes back and says, I'm sorry, I'm only paying my agent, the buyer will be responsible for paying their own agent, then the buyer would be responsible for that 2.5% that they agreed to on the buyer agent form. These are always negotiable and they can be revisited, but now it's being discussed ahead of time and everyone is on the same page, everyone is aware, and everyone is part of the decision-making process when it comes to the list agent and the buyer agent's compensation. So again, the biggest thing this policy creates is transparency, and it really gives more power in the buyer's and the seller's hands, rather than just the brokers deciding among themselves how they're going to split up commission and how much the other agent is getting paid. So I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and I can discuss this with you more in depth. And as always, if you are looking for a home in West Virginia, I would love to help you with that. Feel free to reach out. My contact information is in the description box below, and I will see you in the next video.